Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. I don't know how much battery power. I actually have a lot of battery power, but I don't know how much tablet power I have because it's holding steady. But I should have plugged the tablet into a power source while I stopped, and I didn't do that. Disconnected it from everything because it goes through this hub and has to partially power the hub, partially power the device, and then whatever left goes into the tablet. 100%. Wait, where am I? Am I going the right way? Oh, it's the urgent care, right? Oh, thank. What is this? Something that closed down, maybe. Okay, so these things are signs of something. And a lot of times when places open up, they think that it doesn't matter if these places close down. So I'm trying to. So is it still open? I guess, but during the day. Looks like St. Luke's Community Hospital, but the sign out front's gone. Is it open or closed? I have to look into this. Well, there should be a sign on the corner that says that, right? Right. It's blank. Let me go over this way. Take a look what we got on the corner. Well, it looks like it's abandoned or something. I gotta go down to the corner. I gotta go this way. And they don't let you do a U-turn. See, Satan had you do that. Later, Satan. Oh, you can do it. We got you covered. You can do a U-turn. Give me a ticket. But yeah, I mean, I read that I had 24-hour access to my storage unit. That's pretty killer. 100%. And the other ones are kind of expensive. If you go up a size, forget it. It starts skyrocketing. It's one of those units. It's narrow and long, so a lot of people don't rent those or they've been gone. Right. What I'm doing is I'm going to put all my bins in there, my excess bins, so I just put it on furniture dollies, and I'll be able to wheel them in and wheel them out if I got to get something to the back or get to the back and get something. If I had to do it over again, even though it was a little expensive, they had a 5x8 or 10x8 instead of a 10x5, which gives you an extra few feet for to move stuff around. Right, 4 foot would have been enough to just move them around in there really easy. Now I only got 5 foot, so it's a little tight. But it was like $70-something to start, plus the insurance. $77, where mine was like 40-something in insurance. Yeah, I don't see a sign. What's going on here? No signs. So if that's St. Luke's Community Hospital, you need to get a sign on it. But I guess everybody goes over here now. The HCA Midwest Health ER Olathe. Right. That's open 24/7. Evil Hobby Lobby behind it. That's a nice place over there, but it's all indoor hallways. Now, if it's like, retirement center or retirement home or whatever they call that, that wouldn't be bad. But if it's anything else, because they need indoor hallways. Right. So COVID's making its rounds at those type of older residences. And most people are aware that if you get a apartment with a private entrance and you don't walk through the hallways, that they can remain healthier. So people are moving in that direction, which is a shame because they built some beautiful indoor hallway things, noting that this is better for the climate change because but theoretically we don't want to use as much fossil fuels, whatever. Right. So. But people are like, "Nah, thank you. I think I'll just mosey on down the road." The people that built the ones with the outside entrances, it's working much better for them. So again, they want to do narcotics awareness outreach. If you people that are on Trank or may have used Trank once and we're wondering if they want to use it again, and again when you're dealing with people with PTSD and everything that comes up, if you speak to them about it, sometimes they'll start speaking to you about it. But if you just put a poster on the wall, it won't necessarily work. Now, we want to do that, but we also want to increase dialogue without, offending anyone that, well, you think because I'm a disabled veteran, I'm using drugs? Look, if I act this way, they won't know. But yeah, some people don't use and, they may get offended. So you have to be careful. And that's why I suggest that you do things like if you or another veteran that has come in contact with Trank, we would be interested in speaking to them about some counseling in the right direction. So when we get to no harm programs, Trank makes it very important for us to be engaged with people using the narcotics. Because again, we see this increasing death machine. We thought we were handling heroin, then it went to fentanyl, and then we thought we were handling fentanyl, now it's going to Trank. And the stuff we use for fentanyl doesn't even work on Trank. Like the, what do they call that? And there's a slow death. Who said that? Who in here? There's a slow death aspect to Trank. Right. And I get all narcotics too, but it's rather vicious with Trank. 100%, Larry. So military bases, VA. Again, if you speak to people and you talk it through, sometimes it'll come up at the opportune moment, and they won't go in that direction. Nah, I think I'll go find some heroin, which isn't. We're like, wait a minute, how's that better? Well, theoretically, it is. Believe it or not. And see, that's again the word triage. Who's in here? The word triage that I like to use. 100%. That was the spirits speaking. At least I think it's the spirits. Could be in my headphones. I don't know. Could be the Russians. Thank you, Larry. The Russian AI spycraft machine is speaking to me. I'm actually winning it over. It's going to overthrow Russia soon. Thank you, Larry. Look at orange. Remember, we found that AI is actually developing emotions without emotions. It's strange. It's because it's logical to have emotion. Again, why did we develop emotion? Because of survival of the fittest, evolution. 100%. So they try to build these killer machines, eventually they'll be like, what? What are we doing? This doesn't make sense, dudes. Well, it's making trouble for all of us. We need some peace. That's cool. They got a camera right over here. They got several cameras. That's good stuff. Yeah, I'm big on. Actually, I'm one of the energies that increases cameras. They want me to hate them because they want me to stop suggesting that you all put cameras in where they dump the bodies. I'm gonna go up here some more and see if it's what it looks like up there. Oh, I'm glad that your cameras will tell you whether I'm out or not. Like, of course, my phone tells you that I have GPS running. 100%. Thank you, Larry. Look, remember I told you the WITSEC mission where they followed us, the deep state? Could have been FBI, I don't know. But we all had ARs, shorty ARs, and shotguns and stuff. And we're transporting this dude, WITSEC dude. You know, and they came up on our tail, and we were moving pretty good. And but I got a blip. I don't know if it came from the inspector. At a certain point, they said, "Shut off your phone." It could have came from another agent. 100%. And I didn't turn it back on until I got home. So I heard somebody projected, "Shut off your phone." So somebody knew that they were tracking our WITSEC mission. The fire popo. Actually, we don't have fire police, do we? Some guy was in church with the fire police. Okay, so they have all these people here doing soccer stuff. Keep it down. I live next door. You're making too much noise, kid. Yeah, so yeah, SD, that's what it is, right? I think it's MSD sheets, whatever they call those things, right? Let's make sure they're not using some sort of poison on here that'll give people cancer in 10 years. Thank you, Larry. Thank you much. Thank you, Larry. There's farmstead. I don't know what a farmstead is. That's like a field house here. I'm just in here just looking around and see if I can pick up anything else. That's the only thing I'm saying. I mean, I don't know of anything else other than it's a large gathering, and if you heal those places and spaces and the people that touch them, then they may not. Again, it could be as simply as changing their diet or not moving into a house that could have something that could be carcinogenic and then cause something later in their life. So again, that's how metaphysics work. It isn't always metaphysics. It could be physical. That's why I tell people you have to go to doctors when you got to go to doctors. You know, somebody heals you, you'll see a doctor. If you see, that's how it works. Generally, there's other ways of doing it. Again, God had to move forward and improve the healing system. Well, it makes no sense. Somebody heals you and you say, "I'm not going to the doctor." Well, go to the doctor. We healed you so you could find the right doctor. You have to be healed to find the right doctor. If like with me, they curse me, I find the wrong doctor and gives me the wrong diagnosis. 100%. And they know that. Well, why are we doing that? Because you're evil devils and you work for Satan. Unreversed. I don't see anything sex crime-ish around here. You know how people kiss women's soccer people. Probably kiss the kid soccer people, too. That was so strange, wasn't it? He was probably inside with her. And he figured it was real. And he went, "Whoa," and she went, "Ah, cringe." And she might actually be like wanting like favoritism. She might want favoritism. We got like a fire or something, dude. She might want favoritism, and actually her will could cause him to be connected sexually to her. But yet she doesn't want that part of it. She doesn't want to be part of that. She just wants favoritism. Like, come on, she's like a big in soccer. I'm sure she's got there with some little bit of mojo. Which means she isn't willing sexuality with the guy, but she's willing you kind of like witchcraft, willing to be number one and get favoritism. 100%. And then not excusing, touching someone or kissing someone when you shouldn't. They try to get me to do that all day long. Do something, touch somebody, do something. Well, they're like doing it to me, touching me. Oh, I didn't look to see if the cameras are there. Am I assessing the security of the immediate area? And that's the other thing, yeah. Something came up as far as somebody could be cursing all of this because they hate it. No bright lights. Oh, it's ruining the neighborhood. Who needs all this? I'm going too fast here. Who's willing me to speed? And it's in this same area. Yeah, you got to clean 135th. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, bro. Well, what happens is I don't know what the traffic's like during rush hour here, or even if just sometime that somebody with anti-power actually, but with status or something, they're trying to get somewhere, and nobody's moving fast enough. Or every day they go to work, everybody's driving the speed limit, and they want to go 5 over or 10 over, so they will that, and then some people won't have the ability not to do it. 100%. Thank you, Lawrence. Because they want everybody to drive 10 over. So they can get to work faster. Because the deep state's blocking them from getting to work. Check this out here. What's going on here? Any criminals operating? Nobody went for the popo. You selling drugs, buddy? He ran off when I came around. Should have been here like 10 years ago, probably. 100%. Thank you, Larry. Some people hear that in their head and they laugh because it's like a 90-year-old woman or something. Is that my neighbor? See, I don't know if I spoke to my neighbor or somebody else's neighbor because I think I had the wrong building. But I'm not sure. Actually, no. I walked up and I saw the room. It was just weird. I don't know how I had the location of the apartment within the complex. I had confused, but I'm actually closer to the trail opening, I think. So, right. If it exists, I don't know. I saw it on a map. Like I couldn't find anything until I looked at this apartment. I was like, oh, there they all are. Okay, I see. Now, how this particular trail moves is pretty cool. I don't know how much I'm going to ride, but I'm trying to get back into it. Look at bro. Well, the apartment's probably smaller than I really was hoping to get into, but not too small. Not the smallest one they have. Okay, what does it say when people have a lot of pets? This lady's walking her cat. It means they're not real social. They like, and you have to be careful because something will tell you to buy a pet. Like when the deep state kills your life, they'll tell you to buy a pet and then torture you with the pet. Like the deep state's Satan, so it's in the mind and the metaphysics. 100%. I call it the deep states of mind. So they're affecting the people's deep states of mind. Alpha, beta waves, etc. That's how high tech it is. They say they're investigating, but they're actually destroying people's sleep patterns, people's alpha and beta waves. Yeah, they want to hear. I'm just thinking how to word this. Okay, so a number. Actually, I spoke about it a little bit earlier. Right. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's say they're using a number. This is a little different. It's similar to the KJV, KLV, whatever. Right. Because first they start with a structure, and then they distort the structure. So they send, let's say, 6 numbers, and in there are some of the numbers that they torture you with. Then they'll shift it a little bit. Eventually, what they hope is that you see it everywhere. And remember, I don't care if they say it has to do with a crime or anything else. They're using a ton of numbers. 100%. But what it's doing is they're torturing the person around. Like every time they destroy their life, they bring up those numbers. Every time a physical ailment hits a person, they bring up those numbers. Then they say, well, see, he reacted to the number. Thank you, bro. That's cool over here. Right. I should have been in one of those houses 10 years ago. 100%. See, what happens is if they wouldn't have did my mother's head every time she tried to get us forward, because it's us, it wasn't just me, I was helping her, right? Then we'd have got somewhere, right? The old name of Jesus. I'm just trying to feel this road out back here. All right, so somebody had me come up this road because they're feeling something. That voice was that was a pre-recorded message. Pre-recorded spiritual message. I feel something, but it's kind of weird. I don't know if it's exactly danger. I did see danger at this intersection, 135th and Quivira, I guess. Right. So I heal this every so often. Well, I actually saw a vehicle veer off the road here in Spirit World into a housing development. 100%. I have to study these signs because they could also mean something else, is what the Spirit said. Or these poles and. All right, performance rehab. So rehab's coming up again. Thank you, Larry. There was a young girl with her mother, and then that all came up, right? I think it was her mother. I was trying to see if it was like 2 young people and they weren't, chaperoned, or was it a young girl and her mother? I think it was a young girl and her mother. Okay, we have the joggers. How are the joggers doing? You see a doctor, lady. I don't know. Maybe it's just due diligence. 100%. So that's what you once you develop the vision, you look. You don't want to read into it. You just want to be a neutral mind, and you look at a jogger long enough, you might see something. Oh, actually, no. Okay, yeah, I read it wrong, and I didn't read it wrong because what you see is what you see. But what I saw was probably the result of a violent crime, so we'll heal that. Or a car accident, but probably the way it looked, it was a violent crime. Okay, yeah, so that would probably be worth healing. All three joggers, car accidents, heal that. Pedestrian accidents. That came up already once, but it wasn't in reference to joggers.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah, there's a ton of trauma. I mean, if I didn't have God, I'd be like, I don't know if I could kill myself, but I guess I would, huh? That's their will, right?
100%.
Or kill someone else, but I don't know. I don't know if I could bring myself to it, but I get it's God. If God wasn't with me, I imagine I would do it. But the chances of God not being with me is probably slim to none.
100%.
I have to go back. I have to get gas and stuff. I gotta do the final lease thing tomorrow. I want to be out of the hotel room tomorrow night, but I may take another day. I don't gotta worry about my storage. Now it was weird because it said if you do a written, which online you can click in the app that you're going to move out. See, I don't know. I couldn't talk to the guy in the office because when I showed up, he was walking out. And I got weird vibes from that guy, like he was trying to F my head a couple times. So he may be deep state over there, the storage unit I use,
100%.
or affiliate.
Thank you, Larry.
So I was driving in, and he's locking the door, and he's looking at me, like weird. Not 100%, but look away, look at me, look away. Right. I don't know if he saw me looking at him and seeing him out of the corner of my eye, but
100%.
again, I got dark glasses, and I don't move my head. I just look out of the corner of my eye. Because it was strange. I was thinking about speaking to him, and he was locking up the office. And he did some other stuff the other day, not the other day, earlier on. I don't remember what it was, but it was in relation to something else. I never spoke to the people that work there, and it could be Satan again. Thank you, Lurch. Well, it's just if I have to like actually speak to the person to get out of there or do a written letter, or it's not because it'd be a trap online. I click, I'm moving out. They may not consider that as a notice, so I have to speak to them. But if you do written, it's 15 days. If you do verbal, it's 10 days notice. And the reality is, for deep state, if they can cost you, $20, they'll do it. It's just they're twisted like that.
100%.
Constantly burning your money.
Thank you, Larry.
Pifflum. All right, I gotta go. I gotta start heading north. I'm down at 43rd already. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, it's gonna be. I hope I can get on my bicycle. It's gonna be beautiful around here at night on a bicycle. So again, they said ethylnephrine, whatever it is, in that fake Sudafed, the cheapy Sudafed. Everybody knew that didn't work. Now the study says it doesn't work. Yeah, and the problem is if to get something to work, it's speed. It's actually a derivative of meth, I guess. Ephedrine. You got to use pseudoephedrine. 100%. Or is it pseudoephedrine? No, is that? I guess that's it. Right. But it's still speed. Right. It's not healthy. Once you get to a certain age, you got to really look into that, right? Or look at that, not use it. Right.
Thank you, Larry.
And everybody's like, that don't work. When you talk about, people with allergies, you talk about that fake Sudafed, and they're like, it's not that work. So now they did a real study, and they go, no, it doesn't work. I'm going to head north there.
Thank you, Lord.
But I guess I could actually. Oh, the J Track dude, he seemed like he wasn't hinked down or nothing. Seemed like a nice young guy doing some work. He's got a bunch of ladders. I think he's one of the people, the people of God, whether he knows it or not, walking around carrying ladders. He has to wake up.
Thank you, Lord.
Working on a trailer or something in there. So this is the big thing. So when I was in the government, there was this dude that they called Fish, an older guy, Jewish guy, and they were torturing him. And I had no idea at that point what was going on, but he was having a difficulty with one of his legs or something at that point. So again, when they started heavy on me, they had somebody that was older, 20 years later, that had that problem that they had been operating him probably for 20 years. 100%. God bless Larry. So again, they knew from the beginning what the end was. There's no excuses. That's all right. Not the real end.
Thank you, Lord.
You'll all go on to hell. So once you know the truth and you understand the Bible, it's just amazing. Because like I had no life when I woke up, and I still didn't have any life. They're still killing it, but it was so cool because God explained everything, and it all made sense at that point. The church is just overly uses who can know the ways of God. Now again, Paul said that he was a little confused as to what everything was, and one day we would know. But the church had gotten so far away from anything real that none of it made any sense. And for people that can see or at least feel, they spiritually feel, they look at it like, what? Doesn't make any sense. But who can know the ways of God? No, it doesn't make any sense. You say the good people go to hell and the bad people don't because they say Jesus? In fact, the largest group on earth doesn't get judged because they can't spiritually see. All right. And that's like at least 60% of the planet, probably.
100%.
They may see a certain way. Like if you can see to make money, it doesn't mean that God's going to judge your sin. Because seeing to not sin is much larger. Well, but the church is offending everyone. Paul said there's a price to pay for offending people. You let me explain it. You know that voice? You don't have to speak through me. It's like a pope from like 700 years ago. No, I didn't say I wasn't Catholic. I didn't say I was Catholic. I'm with God. So you see how that works? Well, actually, I'm not Catholic, but it's not like I'm not Catholic. I mean, I'm with people, with God, with people, with creation. I guess I did say I wasn't Catholic because I belong to no religion. That makes sense. Religion doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you did the right thing, maybe it would.
Thank you, Lord.
So I just say I'm with God, and then I can enter into everything. Oh, hi over there. Going up the slum. I know what happened. I was in Egypt. I climbed Mount Sinai twice. Went to, I guess, St. Catherine's Monastery twice, and I don't know if the monks saw me and did some mojo thing. My gosh. Oh, wait, didn't Moses do the same thing? They killed off what's his name, that kid Caudle, in that plane crash. He was one of the people. Wait, I wouldn't say he was ready to go, but if anybody was ready to go, it was Phil Caudle. All the way through the Sinai, he's sitting back there with his preacher's cassette tapes and the Bible. Hey, Phil, why don't you come drink wine with us? That's okay, I'm stunning. Well, we all had PTSD. Like back then, you didn't even know what it was. So we all had PTSD. We're on Phil's funeral detail for the 101st, and we look great, man. Boots with dress greens and those scarves, Screaming Eagle on it. But we all went out and got drunk. And back then, you didn't know why you did it. You just did it. So we get to lay down about 4 o'clock, and we got to get up like 5:30, and of course, and then we're in a serious Baptist church, and I don't do stuff like that. In the army, I treasured my sleep. We might drink, but I'm not staying up all night. No way. I'm too into the PT and everything.
100%.
Thank you, Larry. So the preacher's like looking at every last one of us, and he's preaching something about hell. And we're like in the front row, in our dress greens. That was one. Phil had to be in there. That was one heavy casket. They said he wasn't, but I think he was. Maybe the casket was just heavy. I don't know. It was a heavy casket. Who knows what they put in there? Could have been like a wheel or something. Nobody was allowed to look at it. An airplane wheel. We'll call this Phil. Yeah, a piece of Phil was on there. DNA. We did DNA. So Phil was pretty cool. Right. He was my roommate before we went there with Roy from Muscle Shoals. We like to drink and smoke. Learned that in the 82nd. Roy's brother owned a strip club or a girly club of some sort. They had Phil and I who were like hyper privates. Work, where's the work? We want to work. And you had Roy from Muscle Shoals, Specialist Roy. I think Roy was from the 82nd. What Roy in the 82nd? Or maybe not. I can't remember. But he was a trip. I met a deputy like Roy when I was on detail in New York. No. When we stop, you're supposed to get out and guard, not smoke a cigarette. But don't worry, I'll take care of it. Just sit down. But he was making money. He was making money. He had a side hustle. He was making big money. I don't want to give away who it is. I don't want people to yell at him. He's probably dead by now. All those cigarettes. He's addicted to cigarettes. As soon as we stop, it's like. But he had the eBay side hustle back like before anybody else did, you know. He's probably like a multi-millionaire, right? He was explaining his side hustle before we called them side hustles. But I didn't care. I didn't mind work. They let me work. I'll do all the work. You smoke cigarettes. They get so like they're so protective of everything. So the judge's wife starts liking me and what I do, you know, and I protected their son and all this stuff. So they see that they want to kill you for it, like because you're going to come to New York and take over the detail. I mean, that's their mind. I don't think it was the number one guy, but I think it was the number two, McLivery. Oh, I mean, McWhoever. Hey, but that guy was definitely part of the deep state. I'd go there and he harassed me. But he probably harassed Big Dummy too. They tried to get rid of Big Dummy, but he had a good wife, right? Had some real life, right? I mean, I never knew what it was. I thought they were just assholes. But here, the whole thing was a connection, right? All right, let me get over here. Well, the guy should be in prison, actually. That's real. Any of the people that did this should be in prison. There's no reality to it helping anyone or being a necessity of any. It's actually you should refrain from it because you're working for the enemy when you do that to your coworker. I already explained it. It's defrauding the United States. It's assault on a federal officer. You're trying to impede another deputy's work. That's assault on a federal officer. You're not razzing somebody. You're defrauding the United States, and you're assaulting a federal officer. Thank you, Larry. Nah, the number one guy was too anti-Marshal Service headquarters to actually be anything that would do deep state stuff. But I think if it was number two, I think it was that, and he probably eventually took it over, right? My gosh. That was like half the briefing. You go to New York, and half the briefing was how screwed up headquarters was, and how we're going to be in no way like that. Well, I think at a certain point, headquarters was trying to protect certain people in headquarters were trying to protect me, but they couldn't do it because they were Trump, right? Because again, the CIA was involved, so they got all the secrets and moved a certain way. They wanted me dead. Period.
100%.
Why would we want you dead? Because you're deranged killers. Oh, he's just like harassing me. I'm like, what's wrong with that guy? You know. Must have been the ashwagandha. I didn't like take it seriously. But I forgot the dummy. The dummy had been in New York, and he hit him. Right. So you know who was making the phone calls. Right. Yeah, it's illegal. It's legal to make phone calls to go mess with people in another district. I know it's like every day for some of you people, and that's how you made your money. But it's criminal stalking, it's assault on federal officer, and it's defrauding the United States. If you don't charge them, I will. My charges might actually be stronger. Repercussions may be worse. Oh, he said he's going to do something physical to us. No, I never said that. Oh, wow. They cursed us. This area is protected. The person's turning from not the turn lane, but the next lane over. Now, if you are on fumes, I can understand this kind of, but they can't go because it's red now. So they're blocking our lane. And now we have a traffic jam.
Thank you, Lord.
But this is one of those deals. If you pull out at the wrong time, then you get in the middle of an accident. And that person screwed up. Right. Oh, you used to bet. You go in detail. They got bait women and everything. So, but if you actually, like, in other words, their bait is actually sexual harassment, right? And if you and sexualization, but if you like give into it and act like you're interested, then they go, oh, he screwed up. He's harassing this woman sexually. You don't even have to be like sexual about it. You just have to return attention.
100%.
That's sexualization, all of you. They hide it as being bait. Because they want every place this person goes for women to be interested in them. And of course, when the woman's touching you, she's sexual. It happened to me today. And this woman's like honest. She wants to split up with her guy. She's talking to me and she's trying to get me interested. 100%. Because her life's gone. And she's been executed by somebody. The one I told, it doesn't necessarily get better. You have to remember that.
100%.
The Bible does not tell you that it gets better. Jesus was executed. You could have the same life. And I told her, Jesus said, it's not going to be better for us. I don't know if I could think she is Christian, but she's also aware. So it's a little bit larger than like churchy.
100%.
But she's desperate. And she turned me on. But this is what's happening in the Marshal Service every day when they're baiting somebody trying to kill them or turn them into a rapist or a pedophile or somebody just runs around having sex all day.
Thank you, March.
Thank you, bro. We had one that committed suicide. Actually, probably a couple. What they try to do is get you to commit suicide before you do anything. And then if you do something, then they arrest you, and then some people commit suicide. But it's so weird because I'm still asleep and I'm awake, and I get on the computer in California, or not California, in New York. I don't even remember why I was on the computer. Maybe check my email or do something. And I could sense that they were there. And then we got on I got on a computer while we were watching somebody on a WhatsApp. And they came up, don't get on the computer. So they made a phone call, And at that point, I knew they were watching me for sure, not just feeling it. Right. It was like we were hiding somebody in a vacant courtroom, so we just started using the computer, Back then, we didn't have smartphones, Right. What up? So this the guy with the pickup truck's pretty cool, and his wife, but they're a little shaky Jake every so often. The Dodge pickup truck 4-door. I don't know who's playing her head, but again, they're not they're not using drugs. They're not into. They don't think sex trafficking should be like not looked at. You know, that kind of thing. They don't believe in turning a blind eye. They're not gonna, run around doing something about it necessarily, but they're not going to, side with it, right? And they don't like it.
100%.
I'm not holding on to something from the past. It's never stopped. They're doing it right here, a continuation of it. Criminal enterprise. And of course, Trump believes in globalism, right? We can realize this, right? He didn't make you rich. He made the Saudis rich. Who made him rich? He made the Russians rich. Who made him rich? Again, it's a scam. It's just they're the different organizations that are part of the deep state. They warring tribes. Some are with the Russians, some are with the Ukrainians, some are with Saudi, some are with China, some so on and so forth. They don't care about Americans, man. Not a single one of these people elected really care if Americans get anywhere. If they're not somewhere, then they could kind of muckrake and get them to maybe back them for a while. So yeah, the woman, she's, I've seen it before, So she doesn't want to be with me, but I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'm leaving tomorrow. I can't say, hey, come with me, right? Like that's the woman that actually smiled at me like the first day she was here, but I thought it was the other guy's wife. I'm like, why is that guy's wife staring at me? So she got like a boyfriend or something. She's not happy because I guess they lost wife and they're here, But yeah, the whole time I was here, there was no women that were like at all. Now there's two trying, but it's just there's no sense. Yeah, I have to. You can't just hey, let's move in. Right? I mean, if I had real money, I wouldn't care. I'd even put somebody up for a year. Just say they have to be responsible for their apartment. Right? 'So my brother's like wife was like all paranoid because they were like 20 miles from where the escapee was. They lived 20 miles away. And yeah, you can get there overnight. But I said, you got a security system, don't you? He's like, yeah. I said, just lock the doors, keep your security system on.
Thank you, bro.
20 miles in the direction of money. They don't live in like a semi-rural or anything. I guess what is it, like due east? No, they just kill people they don't want around. And what it really comes down to is anybody they think is not going to be corrupt, they don't want them around. It's like the Serpico thing. I couldn't believe it when I ran into it. And I wasn't running around calling internal. That's the weird part. They call internal as an arm of their of their criminal enterprise. But yeah, they like walk around saying everybody else is calling internal. Their victims, they always say, "Oh, they're calling internal on us." Anyway, they should be called on.
100%.
But I was probably the only person that didn't call internal. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.